Hey, this isn't something I usually talk about, but a close friend of mine went through something that still keeps me up at night, and honestly, just retelling it makes my skin crawl. It didn't happen to me personally, but I saw enough of it to know it was very real. This happened a few years back. My friend, let's call her Michelle, lives in Hamilton, Canada, not too far from Toronto. Her husband Ryan and mine have been friends for over 2 decades. That's how I got close to Michelle. We'd hang out every now and then, especially around holidays. But one Christmas get-together really changed everything. We were just sitting around chatting like usual, when someone brought up how Michelle and her family had kind of dropped off the radar a couple years back. No texts, no calls, nothing. I remember Michelle went really quiet. And then all of a sudden she just started crying. Like, shaking, couldn't speak for a few minutes. Her husband tried brushing it off like, it's nothing, just some personal stuff. But you could feel it. Something was seriously wrong. Over the next few days, I kept asking her about it. She was hesitant, but eventually, she told me everything. Michelle has 2 kids, a son and a daughter. Her daughter, Emily, was 17 when all this started. One day, Emily came home from school, and Michelle had made her favorite, spaghetti. Pretty normal day, right? But the moment Emily walked in, she didn't say a word. No, hi, no, I'm home. She just walked straight to her room. Michelle thought maybe it was just school stress. Teenagers can be moody, right? But after half an hour, she went to check on her, and what she saw freaked her out. Emily looked awful. Her eyes were sunken in, like she hadn't slept in weeks. Her skin was pale, almost grayish. When Michelle asked her if she was okay, Emily barely responded. That night, they ended up calling an ambulance. The doctors ran every test imaginable, brain scans, blood work, everything. But they couldn't find anything wrong. Physically, she was totally fine. Mentally, she didn't show signs of anything specific either, so after a few days, they brought her back home. That's when it got worse. Emily stopped going to school. She barely ate. All she ever said was, "I just want to sleep." Over and over. But even sleep didn't help. She looked worse every day. Michelle and Ryan were desperate. Then one day, Michelle walked into Emily's room and was hit by this disgusting smell. I mean, she said it was like rotting meat mixed with dirty pads. That bad. She aired out the room, sprayed everything, but it didn't help. Ryan said he'd help clean it properly when he got home. Later that evening, they managed to get Emily out of the room, just to let her rest in the guest room while they cleaned. The moment they started moving her stuff around, Emily started screaming. Not like a tantrum. Full body screaming, clutching her stomach like she was being stabbed. It scared the hell out of them. They called 911 again, and again. Nothing showed up. All her scans were fine. But Michelle knew something was wrong. Something they couldn't explain. So the next day, while Emily was out with Michelle running errands, Ryan decided to finally deep clean the room. He started pulling the mattress off the bed when he saw something sticking out from underneath. There were hundreds of used sanitary pads. I'm not exaggerating. Michelle said they counted close to 300. Rotting, covered in blood, moldy, and full of maggots. Stuffed in the space under the mattress where the frame dips in. It didn't make sense. Emily had never shown signs of this before. No signs of hoarding or any mental issues. Ryan froze. He called Michelle in total panic. And that night, Emily had another episode. But this time, it wasn't her stomach. She started vomiting. But what came out were clumps of her own hair. It was like something inside her was trying to tear her apart. The family tried everything. Doctors, therapists, but nothing helped. Eventually, someone they knew, an older woman from their church, said, "This is not something medicine can fix." They took her advice and reached out to someone through the church, someone based in the US, in upstate New York. A spiritual worker or priest, I don't really know the exact title. All I know is they were told to get Emily there as fast as possible, or they might lose her. So they did. Michelle, Ryan, and Emily left everything behind and moved temporarily to New York. Emily stayed under this man's care for almost 8 months. She slowly started getting better. Her color came back. She started eating. No more hair loss, no more screaming. When they finally returned home, they wanted to check in one last time with the man who'd helped her, just to be sure. And what he said chilled them to the bone. He told them, "Don't take her back to that house. Whatever latched onto her is still in there. It's not black magic, not a demon, not a ghost. It's a soul, a dark one, and it's tied to that place." Apparently, the house had been passed down in Ryan's family for 4 generations, but something had rooted itself in the basement, something no one had ever dealt with. It hadn't attacked Ryan or Michelle, just Emily. Maybe because she spent so much time down there, going through old boxes and stuff. No one really knows. Ryan wanted to sell the house, but every time someone came to see it, they'd feel off, uncomfortable, like something was watching them. Eventually, he sold it, at a huge loss, and they moved far away. But a few months later, it started again. Not in the same way, though. This time, Emily didn't complain of stomach pain. Instead, she'd wake up vomiting hair again, long strands wrapped around her tongue. She stopped talking, just stared off at the walls. That's when they called the man from New York again. He couldn't come, but he sent someone, a student of his. And that man stayed with the family for almost a week. He didn't perform rituals or anything at first, just observed. And that's when things got really weird. Michelle told me Emily would watch him, constantly, like eyes wide open, fingers over her lips, just watching him, as if she was trying to hide from something. The student finally said, "This isn't done. She's still connected. I need to finish what was started." He asked the family to leave the house for 4 days. Not just the house, the whole neighborhood. They didn't hear from him until the 6th night. When they returned, Michelle broke down in tears. Emily had deep gashes all over her arms, her legs, even her face, like she'd been attacked by razor blades. But she was calm. She wasn't crying. She just sat there, quiet, peaceful for the first time in years. Whatever had followed her was finally gone. It took them almost 3 years to fully recover. Emily still has scars, physical and emotional. She never went back to school. They pulled her out for good. She's okay now, but she doesn't like being alone. She sleeps with a light on, and she doesn't go into basements. Ever. I saw her recently. Michelle brought her over during Christmas, and I gotta admit, even though she looked healthy, there was something in her eyes, like she remembers everything.